Alright, today we're going to be looking at the Freya axe by CRTK. Alright? CRKT, excuse me. Anyways, besides my inability to remember acronyms, this is the Freya axe. It is another edition in their kind of Norse-inspired series of axes. We'll get right into kind of what they're saying about it. So they're describing it as a two-handed axe. I'd probably say it's more a one-handed axe that you could use two hands on if you wanted to, because it has the handle space for it. But most people, I think, are going to use this more similar to a hatchet or like a tomahawk, something like that. It's definitely, I think, more in the one-handed axe area. The head is forged 1055 steel with a hickory handle. It uses the design like a lot of tomahawks do, where you slide the head right from the bottom to the top. Once it gets to a certain thickness on the handle, it wedges, and then the momentum of you swinging it continues to keep it in place, and over time it just gets stuck there basically, unless you take it apart. So it's a pretty simple design. Head's not coming off. I suppose in theory there is some sort of scenario where you could maybe have it come loose the other way. I've not really encountered that or heard of it, but it could happen. It's not wedged in place like you'd see on the Freya axe that I did the review of before, or like a normal kind of hatchet or axe, anything like that. So just be aware of that. All right, head design is very different than the previous entry in this line, which is the Freya. See my video for that. Also, I thought a really good axe. So this head is smaller, right? It's not the bearded design. It's more, like I said, along the lines of a tomahawk or a hatchet in size. It does have kind of proud points on the top and bottom, especially the top, similar to what you'd see in like a full-sized, like a Dane axe or something like that. It has a nice striking surface on the back. I've been hitting, I was pounding stakes with it, and you can see, so it did mark up the finish, but there is no dimpling in the back, which is a good sign. So it was dimpling the stakes, not vice versa, which is what you want to see. And I expect the finish to come off a bit. That's not a big deal. It's definitely a thicker head, if I can spin that around. So it's heavy up front. It has a heavy feel on the head. The balance definitely is more towards the front half because of that thickness right there. Unlike the Freya axe, it's much thinner. The head on that one is significantly thinner and longer because of the bearded style. And you can feel this one with the weight up front. Part of the reason this one is especially front heavy is, so when I got the handle, here's how long the handle is supposed to be, for anyone who's interested like that. The handle I got had a significant warp in it, to the point where I put it on and initially the head went to about there, which is not acceptable. So I essentially had to chase the warp out of the handle and go around it, sanding and shaping it, which I did, and that's why you can see the two finished colors right here. I got to a point out towards the end here where I decided it was long enough to be functional and to be used well, and I did not want to remove too much more material chasing that warp out of it, that it would weaken the handle significantly. So that mark is right there, put in a vise and wedged it up as far as I could and then cut the extra off. So that, in this specific axe, does lend it to feel extra top heavy, but I think you would have a little bit of that feel even if the handle was a little longer. Overall, the axe comes very sharp, which was a critique I had of the last one of their axes I reviewed, as it came about half dull. This one is very sharp. I've been using it with the factory edge the whole time, not had a single issue. If I get the camera to focus decently, which may or may not happen here. There's been no deformation in the edge or chipping in any of the chopping I've been doing. It's held up very well. I've used this for some basic chopping on logs, some splitting of firewood, kindling, pounding steaks, general tasks like that. I think this generally feels like a tool hatchet, and that's pretty much what I used it for. I wasn't out beating cinder blocks with it or anything like that, but I did use it quite a bit. And I really don't have any complaints about it. The price is decent. Amazon's got them for like $52. I think it is a very solid addition to their line of kind of Norse-inspired axes they've been doing. It just looks cool. Like, if you're into that style of axes or the more kind of European style stuff, there's a lot of tomahawks out there if you want something a little different. I think this is a good addition or possibility. It is a little heavy. Like if I was going to be packing it around, it's not bad. Let me see what I can find for weight here real quick. Come on, guys. 1.93 pounds. So it's not terrible. It's just under 2 pounds. But yeah, overall, man, if you're looking for kind of a Norse-inspired axe or hatchet or just kind of something cool that's different to have around, I would definitely go with this. It's tough. It works well. I like the handle overall. It's got a taper to it, like I said, for mounting the head. Edges are rounded nicely. It's smooth. It's tough. I've not had any trouble with it breaking. It fits well in the hand. You know, depending on where you grip it, you can grip it up a little higher if you're doing a little finer work, or down lower if you're swinging. Right, it is a much more basic handle than like you'd see on a lot of hatchets or other axes even. So there's no heel on it, right? It doesn't have anything that kicks off the end to catch your hand. So if it is wet, this handle is smooth wood. You could potentially have slipping issues without anything on the end to catch your hand before it slides off. So be aware of that. You could probably, if you're somebody who does like paracord or something like that, you could do a wrap on it, or get a cover, or just grip it like a man, you know, whatever. That's about all I've got on this, guys. Like I said, it's a good buy. I'd pick one up. I plan on keeping this one and using it. So, any questions, feel free to let me know. Shoot me a, comment down there or message or whatever. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully you'll have a good day.